Hi everyone, Cheryl Arkle. Hello. Hi. Hi everyone at home. Cheryl Arkle, what are you reading? You know how this segment works. You tell me what you're reading and I'll tell you what we're reading. It's Thursday, it's 2:00. Welcome. Welcome everyone to What Are You Reading? So we've had a really big week. Well, actually it was last week and this week. Huge weeks. Cheryl Arkle, what are you reading? Tell me what you're reading and we'll tell you what I'm reading or what we're reading. Anyway, here we are. Last week was huge. It was Sydney Writers Festival, and this office is in Sydney. So there were a lot of people that went to the festival, a lot of authors, and they came and chatted with us. Oh, actually, there is a book on the table over there by Jake Adelstein. Can somebody pass me that? I forgot to bring it over. I want to talk about Jake as well because he was great. Listen, welcome everyone. Cheryl Arkle, what are you reading? Here we go. Christine says hi. Hi, Christine. Today we've got Natalie and we've got Lily in the office. We've got some new people on the team. So do you know what we'll do next week? We'll do an intro and I'll introduce you to the new team members. Carolyn says, good afternoon, Cheryl. And her latest reads have been The Cryptic Clue by Amanda Hampson, which we love Amanda, The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth, and The Wiregrass by Adrian Hyland. Well, that's big. Okay, welcome everyone. Cheryl Arkle, what are you reading? You know how it works. It's Thursday, it's 2:00. You tell us what you're reading and we'll tell you what I'm reading, what we're reading here in the office. Okay, all right. Emma says hello to us and to the team. Julie Bennett says hello, and Julie's an author. Lynn says hi. I think that's Ria. Ria is currently reading, what is she reading? The Retreat by Sarah Pearce and Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. Okay, thank you. And you might be new to us, Ria. I don't remember seeing your name up there. And if you are, welcome. We love newbies. Let us know too if you're a newbie because we love that. Emma says, hello, Bibliophiles. Yes, hello to me and hello to all the Bibliophiles out there. Love this segment. Love your comments. Keep feeding them through. Okay, I'm going to start with, I want to talk about, this is kind of a secret, so don't tell anyone. But these two authors, Candice Fox, Michael Connolly, we've got a very, very special promotion coming up. And it involves Candice and it involves Michael Connolly, who was at the Sydney Writers Festival, and we had them in the office last Saturday. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You're going to have to wait, but we have got something very, very special coming up with these two authors. Okay, so look out for that. We all love Michael Connolly and we all love Candice Fox. Let me do that again. We all love Michael Connolly and we all love Candice Fox. Okay. All right. They've got me sitting in a new spot and I'm not all that familiar with it. You know how hopeless I am, everybody. I'm always in trouble here as well. You know that. Helen says, hi. The Life We Bury is what she's reading by Alan Erskine or Eskin. Joy says, hi, everyone. She's just finished Mind Games by Norma Roberts, and she's just about to start The Lost Letters by Rose Carey. Malvina, hi. Malvina's just finished The Silkworm, second in the Cormorant Strike series. Oh, that's the Robert Galbraith. Yeah, J.K. Rowling. Great to read. I love those books. They're really fantastic. Julie Bennett is reading Beautiful Little Fools by Gillian Cantor. Do we have Julie Bennett's books here? I think I might have seen them up here, Natalie, up there, like right here. Not sure, but we're going to hold up a book if we've got a copy in the office. Now, Dex is away sick today, so we don't know how to put the books on the screen, so you'll just have to... we'll have a look. I think it was a top shelf, Julie Bennett. Sally Smith says, hi, Cheryl. I'm reading the last of the Roland Sinclair mysteries. It's been interesting. Ria is relatively new. Yes, I've only caught one live so far, but I've got your podcast listed. Thank you so much. Actually, that's a really nice segue. I'm going to talk about podcasts. We've got so many podcasts coming out. Michael Connolly, I don't know, there's some really big ones happening out there. and they're out there. Now, our podcast is available through Apple, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a link in comments. It's also available through Spotify or anything else that you're listening to. And if you can you please give us a really good rating or maybe a comment, because that helps the algorithm. I don't know what that means, but it does help the algorithm. Now, this is Julie, and the reason why we're holding this up is because Julie Bennett is right there and she's with us today. Thank you, Julie, for joining us. This is Julie's book, The Understudy, and it was Book of the Week for us a few weeks ago. It's set in the 70s Sydney, and it takes you into the underbelly of the theatre scene. It's so addictive and a really good, mysterious read. Thank you, Julie, for joining us, and that's Julie's book. Okay, I want to talk to about another Sydney Writers' Festival author that came in the other day, Jake Adelstein. Wonderful. I had such a great podcast with him. That's coming out soon too. So he wrote a book called Tokyo Vice, and this is his second book, Tokyo Noir. I love them. And there's also a TV series, I think, as well, which I've seen. There's definitely TV series, but there is one of the second one, but I don't know if it's out yet. But Jake was in Sydney last week, so he came in and chatted with us. And I don't know if you've seen this. It's such a compelling story. So Jake himself, at the age of 18 or 19, went to Tokyo and learnt the language. And he became so fluent in Japanese, which is so, not that common. And he got a job at the Japanese national newspaper. He is the first non-Japanese person to ever work for a news media outlet in Japan. Anyway, really great stories, great podcast, great books, and that's Jake. All right, let me know if anybody's either seen the series. The series, I think, is called Tokyo Vice, or read the books. But anyway, definitely worth it. I love them. Okay, what have we got? Sally is reading the last of Roland Sinclair mysteries. It's been interesting. Ria says she's relatively new and she's only caught one live so far. Well, welcome. There you go. We love having new people. Yvette says, hi, everyone. I'm reading The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. I think that's how that's pronounced, after seeing him talk at the Sydney Writers' Festival. Okay, fantastic. Let me know how many of you did go to the Sydney Writers' Festival. Was it great? Did you enjoy the sessions? I always love what I see. What did I see? I saw Anne Patchett, of course. Emma says, currently reading Manhattan Dreaming by Anita Heiss, a great romance. She's wonderful. She's a great friend to Better Reading as well. She often joins us in this segment. Megan just finished Mad Honey. It was hard work. Think I need a Kathy or an easy read. That happens, doesn't it, Megan? Okay, I want to talk about Benjamin Stevenson because we love him. This is, what was his last book? Can somebody help me with that? Oh, here it is, out here. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. That was his last book. This is his new book. And I think the way it goes, it's two, he's got two covers. So it's kind of two books in one. Fool Me Twice, Find Us, Fool Me Twice, Last One to Leave. I mean, he's such a superstar. Do you know he's a twin and they do a comic act, he and his twin brother? Anyway, these are two crime stories, one from the author and one from the bestsellers, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. Anyway, that's the lovely Benjamin Stevenson. As I said, I really like that guy. He's a twin and they've got a comic act. Let me know if you've read any of his. Oh gosh, well, this one's a hard one. Because I'm not myself, you see. Now, this does have a suicide trigger warning. So if you feel triggered by that, I just want to let you know that Ariane talks about that in this book. She is just a beautiful young woman. This is her story of her experience as a mother. And it's called A Memoir of Motherhood, Madness, and Coming Back from the Brink. She's so candid about her experience of having a child, what it did to her or how she felt, and how she came back from that. I had such a great conversation with her on the podcast. And this is the book as well, Because I'm Not Myself, You See. I think it's beautiful, and it's certainly a great read, a great memoir, but just know that there is conversation in there about suicide. Okay, all right, what else have we got? Annie says she's currently rereading. What is she rereading? That's just flipped up. Rereading Manhattan Dreaming. No, that's not right. I've lost my spot because they just all went up. Okay, I'll find that again. Oh, here she is, Annie. I'm currently rereading We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter, having watched the series on Disney. Okay, now let me see where I am. Paula says, hello, just finished Good with Money by Emma Edwards. Highly recommend for spendaholics. Okay, Paula, that's a very good recommendation. Colin says, halfway through Long Island by Colum Tobin. Yvonne says, hi, Cheryl. I'm reading Little Wartime Library. Gosh, I'm having some technical issues here today, just in the flicking up of comments, but here I go, I'm back. Yvonne says she's reading The Little Wartime Library by Kate Thompson, just about to start it. Vicky is just about to start Cryptic Clue by Amanda Hampson, and she loved the Tea Lady Mysteries. Oh, well, that's fantastic. We've had 2 people reading Amanda Hampson so far. What else have I got? Oh, I've got this great book, a joyful novel. It's about a happy ever after that wasn't. It's a new Sunday Times best-selling author, and it's called Funny Story by Emily Henry. And she wrote another book called Happy Place, which was also a bestseller. Love that cover. Seemed very happy, very sunny. Oh, here's the book, the lovely Dervla McTiernan, The Murder Rule. You know Dervla, we all love her. And this is her first standalone thriller. And that's been out for a little while, and it's been on the top 10 bestseller list. Listen, also I need to let you know, or to tell you, I'm going to, it's called the Words on the Waves Festival on Saturday, this coming Saturday. And I'm going to be talking to Nat's What I Reckon. So you know that lovely Nat? Oh, here he is, Smash Hits. It's a book of recipe. I discovered Nat during COVID, and I just loved him. I loved his style of cooking, and, you know, I've been following his career, and he's so clever, and he's going to be at the festival, and he and I are going to record a podcast at the festival. So if you want to come and join us, it's called Words on the Waves if you live in New South Wales, and Nat's and my session is on at 3 o'clock. In your minor. But anyway, jump on the Words on the Waves website. I think there's plenty of tickets. And if you want to come and see his chat. And if you do come, make sure you come up and say hi to me, because I quite like that. I like talking to people. Actually, somebody said in the comments on Facebook the other day, I don't know if you saw this, Nat, but somebody said that they saw me in the supermarket. I shop at what is it? Anyway, Leichhardt. I can't even remember where I shop at the moment. Harris Farm in Leichhardt. And she said she looked at me and she thought she knew me, but she was too shy to say anything. But if you do see me, please say hi. I mean, I love all of you people out there. I will probably recognise your name if you've made a comment. But even if you haven't, always nice to meet people and say hello and meet like-minded people, meet readers, right? Anyway, so there you go. All right. Okay, Vicky says she's just about to start Cryptic Clue by Amanda. Oh, I've already read that out. Kerry is reading The Hummingbird Effect by Kate Mildenhall for book club next week, and it will be an interesting discussion, and indeed it will. I saw Kate at the Arbias the other night when we were in Melbourne, the Australian Book Industry Awards. Okay, Kerry is reading Limber. That's Judy, actually. Judy is reading Limberlost by Robbie Arnott. Yvonne, she won Julie's book 2 years ago and still hasn't had time to read it. Well, you know what? It's never too late. Actually, let me tell you a funny story about that. I was travelling with Michael Rowbotham some years ago now, maybe 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. And he told me this fantastic story, which I still repeat. It's so funny. So when his very first crime novel came out, or book came out, one that he had written, because I think he wrote as a ghostwriter for a while before. But anyway, this was his very first book. He sent it to his parents, who were both really good readers. And I think he sent it to his mum in particular. And anyway, it was days and days and days, and, you know, she should have received it, and he hadn't heard from her. And he's like thinking, oh my God, did she not like it? Or, you know, she hasn't said anything or whatever. So finally, now just imagine this, like it's your first book, it's published, you send it to your mother, who is a reader, right? So finally he picks up the phone and he calls her, right? And he says, oh, Mum, just wondering if you got the book that I sent you, my book. And she said, yes, of course I got it. He's like, well, what did you think? She said, well, I haven't read it yet. It's on my to be read file and I'm not up to it yet. I just love that story. That's her son's book. And she just put it in there amongst the piles of books that she has to read. She got to it at some point and loved it, but she hadn't got to it then. Anyway, I really like that story. I thought it was quite cute. And mothers, right? Only mothers can do that. Julie Bennett says, thank you. It's such a pleasure. And the understudy was Julie's debut. So that wasn't her first. Is that right? Oh, yes, it was. So, oh, that's right. So that was your debut fiction novel. Okay, there you go. All right. Now, Christine is currently reading Candace Fox's book, Devil Kitchen, and we've talked about Candace, and we've got something fantastic coming up with Candace in it. Ria, I really like this book, and she had read it a little while ago. Okay, Carolyn loved Limberlost, and so beautifully written and so moving. Elizabeth says, hi, I'm new here, and I'm reading Tilda is Visible by our very own Jane Tara. Fantastic, Elizabeth, and welcome. We love this segment. It's called What Are You Reading? It's every Thursday, 2 p.m. And, you know, we're always here. Sometimes it's me, and sometimes you'll get an author, or sometimes you'll get a team member. Let's talk about Studio Girls by Lisa Ireland. This is a glamorous and nostalgic journey into the golden age of Hollywood. Look at these beautiful covers. I love Lisa Ireland. Actually, this is quite a new kind of look for her as well. And Lisa, again, is a great friend to Better Reading. So that's out. Robin Neal, this is wonderful. With Winter Comes Darkness, and it's called by Robbie Neal, and it's a terrible accident burns a family's life on the same day a murder is committed. It's a psychological suspense, family drama, and it's set, it's Australian, which is fantastic, and that's out now to read. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Anyway, let me just have a look at my notes. Have I told you about everything? So we've talked about podcasts. Let me know if you like to listen to the podcast. Please leave us a review. And that's all I have to say on podcasts, although we've got quite a bit of talent coming up on the podcast. Just to remind you all about Preview. So Preview is our program, and this is for the newbies out there. If you don't know this, you need to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, and you just visit our website to do that. That's betterreading.com.au. But every week in the newsletter, we have on offer books to read in advance, and we call that program, that promotion is called Preview, and you get to review a book 3 months prior to publication. So the way it works is once that email goes out, everybody registered, and we have some kind of electronic selection thing that chooses. So if you've got 50 books, it chooses 50 reviewers. If it's 100 books, it chooses 100 reviewers. But for each one, we get about 600 or 700 people applying. So if you're clicking on and you can't get on, it's because it's closed, like it won't take anymore because so many people want them. So you just have to keep trying, and it's really random. The same people don't get it every week. Some people are lucky enough that they've had it a couple of times, but not everybody. But the more often you register, obviously, the more likely you to get it. So that's called Preview. So if you want to review some books for us, please sign up to our newsletter. Top 100, that's out, that's published. Do you know what we're going to do next week? We're going to talk about, get ready for this, right? Next week, we're going to talk about the top 100, right? We're going to put the list up, and we're going to ask how many books you've read on that list. Let's talk about that next week. Okay, so that's the Better Reading 2024 Top 100. If you want to download the checkable list, it's at our website, betterreading.com.au. And I'm going to see who has read the most. Okay, don't get all competitive on me though. All right, what else have we got? Elizabeth says hi. She's new here. She's the one that's reading Jane's book. Julie, I went along to the Sydney Writers' Festival and saw Susie Miller, so inspirational. She's changing the world. Oh, that's fantastic. Yvette said, she saw somebody at the Sydney Writers' Festival with Dunica McKenzie and Solari Gentile. It was excellent. I love those two authors. I love Dunica and I love Solari. They are really beautiful writers and gentle, lovely people. I'm sure that must have been a great panel event. Teresa is reading Shantaram at the moment. Beautifully written so far, only 150 pages in. I think that book's, 70,000 or more pages. No, I don't know. I don't know how long it is, but it's a brick, right? Isn't that funny? Now, Shantaram's been out, I guess, since, years and years. I mean, I was a young bookseller at the time when that came out, but I just love those books that survive the ages, if you like, that are still relevant, that are still readable, and they don't really date so much. I mean, we all say that, books are new until you read them, but those books have been, read by many over generations of people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And Shantaram's certainly one of them. Okay, Julie. Hi, Julie. Julie said she's reading Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood, my first book by her. I love Charlotte. I think she's a really beautiful writer. And I've recorded a podcast with her. And she said something which I've repeated many times since. She said when she finishes a book, when it gets published, it doesn't belong to her anymore. It belongs to the reader. And I really quite like that. I think, and it kind of makes sense because her job is over. She's been the storyteller, and then she hands it to you, the reader, and now it belongs to you. Anyway, she told me that. No, it really resonated, actually. Beautiful writer and also a beautiful person. Colleen says, my next reads are the Benjamin Stevenson book and Smoke by Michael Brissenden, and then The Wild Date Palm by Diane Armstrong. We had Diane in, actually, for a podcast, and we talked about The Wild Date Palm as well. Kazzie's reading Warrior King by Wilbur Smith. Carolyn says, Cheryl, an hour ago I started Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. Well, that's the Benjamin Stevenson. I was a little unsure of it so far, so I'm pleased you mentioned it. And he's part of a comedy act. Makes more sense now. Yeah, he is. He's got that sense of humour. And he really is. He's just such a lovely person. Lisa said she's currently reading Free by Meg Keneally, who's Tom Keneally's daughter. Early stages, but it's completely drawn me in, which is fantastic. I mean, those Keneallys are very talented, aren't they? Caroline is currently reading Sunrise Over Mercy Court by Fiona McCallum, who we adore. Annette is currently reading Looking for Alibrandi by Melina Marchetta. I mean, what a segue. So this morning I had an appointment in the city and it was pretty horrendous, one of those checkups that you have to have. And I decided to walk, so I'm in Sydney, and I decided to walk through this arcade, which was so beautiful, just to calm down. And who do I run into? Who's sitting there having a cup of coffee? Melina Marchetta, because I know Melina. And, I sat with her and we chatted and I had a coffee, and then all of a sudden I felt so much better. Isn't that lovely what friends can do for you? She's gorgeous. And she's really always been a good friend of Better Readings. Okay. All right. Now, what else do I have to talk about? So, about Words on the Waves. I think I've covered that. We've got one last book here. From us, and it's by Anika Johansson. It's called Downstream, with that beautiful little cover, and it's a story about forsaken dreams and buried secrets that lie below the surface of everyday lives until they appear in the aftermath. So that is the last book on the list today. So now listen, next week you got homework, right? You've got homework. We're going to put up the list, the top 100, 2024, right? And you're going to tell us how many of those books you've read. So if you want to find the list, betterreading.com.au. We're going to put in the podcast links And please give us a review if you have time. We'd love that. If you want to be part of Preview and start reviewing books for us, sign up to the newsletter. And I'll just finish these comments. Jane said she's just finished The New Couple in 5B and loved it. Teresa said Nat's great. Has a very interesting backstory as well. He does. I really like him. He's such a gorgeous young person, and he's really been a great advocate for mental illness as well in this country. He's very open and honest about how he feels, and he's a great chef. He's a really good cook. I don't think he's a chef. He cooks like a chef, and I was always drawn to his cooking style. Well, I am drawn to his cooking style. Okay, I think that's it from me today. Thank you so much for joining us. I love this segment. I know I say this every week, but I really, really do. Thank you. I really value everything that you do for Better Reading. I value all your comments. I know you know this, but at night I just sit there and I go through them all, and they always make me feel fantastic. And then I think, well, you know, if you're reading that, then I might want to read this. And that's the purpose of this segment. That's why we call it What Are You Reading? Okay, that's it. If you're in your minor for Words on the Wave with Nat, come and say hi. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much. See you next week.